My job as the FBI director is to invite all
yes or no
leads.
to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped?
Any insinuation by you or any people on your
if?
side that I am not manhunting child predators and sex traffickers, just look at the stats.
Patel,
and you talk about cover-ups, man.
Mr. Chairman,
you talk
this is
about
my
cover-ups.
time, and I will take as much time as
Where
I want.
were you during the Obama and
witness,
Biden
Mr.
administrations
Chairman.
when these so-called cover-ups were going on?
Jayapal calls out Kash Patel for the biggest reversal of his career, promising to release the full Epstein files, then suddenly shutting it all down after learning who was in them. Survivors came forward, Patel refused to meet them, and when asked if they're credible, he wouldn't answer. This isn't transparency, it's protection.
Nice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, before you joined the FBI, you had very strong opinions about what the FBI was hiding regarding Jeffrey Epstein. In a September 2023 interview with Glenn Beck, you said the Black Book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. In December 2023, you said, let us know who the pedophiles are. Even for a short time after becoming FBI director, in February of 2025, you tweeted, quote, there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left unturned. In June, you told Joe Rogan, quote, we've reviewed all the information, we're gonna give you every single thing we have and can. But then suddenly in July, everything changed. You and Attorney General Pam Bondi released one video and said that there was nothing more to see. Your July memo says you uncovered more than 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence, but that you had decided no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. That is a quote. I think what happened, Mr. Patel, is that suddenly you discovered that Donald Trump's name was all over these files, and you started a giant cover-up. So you are under oath, Mr. Patel. You just testified to Mr. Swalwell that you did not speak to the president about the Epstein files. To your knowledge, did Attorney General Pam Bondi speak to the president about what was in the Epstein files?
I can't speak for Attorney General Pam Bondi.
So to your knowledge, you don't have any information. The question was, do you have any knowledge? Do you have any knowledge?
I can't speak.
You are refusing to answer the question, so let me tell you that the Wall Street Journal reported that in May, Bondi told Trump that he was in the Epstein files, and at the same meeting said that the DOJ did not plan to release the files. Yesterday, you testified to Senator Kennedy that there was, quote, no credible information that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone else, and that you have, quote, continuously and publicly asked the public to come forward with more information, and we'll look into it. Today, in response to Mr. Massey's question, you appear to say that the survivors were not credible. These are survivors.
That's not at all what I said.
Okay, great. I'm going to ask you this in a second, but let me tell you about the survivors, and let's bring them up here into the room. These are women who came to the Hill and testified that they were groomed and raped at the age of 14 and 16 years old, and they called to meet with the president and to meet with the FBI and to have people investigate their claims. Some of them have never testified before. If you are so interested in getting the public to submit any information, why have you not met with them? You said you haven't met with them. Have you met with them? I'll give you one more chance.
My job as the FBI director is to invite all investigative
yes or no
leads.
to whether or not you met with these women who were sexually abused and raped?
Any insinuation by you or any people on your side that I am not manhunting child predators and sex traffickers, just look at the stats. And you talk about cover-ups, man.
Mr. Chairman,
you talk about cover-ups.
And I will take as much time as I want.
Where were you during the Obama and Biden administrations when these so-called cover-ups were going on? Why didn't anyone in those administrations talk to any of these purported witnesses? I have
some regular order,
every single person to provide credible information.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Washington. Washington.
And I'm going to take another couple of minutes.
When you accuse the witness of something, he's allowed to respond. That's how it works.
Listen, he didn't even, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, you have always been fair, but this is not fair.
And you will get
this is my time, and he said that the witnesses were not credible.
Seconds of time.
I'm going to get an additional minute of time because that's how much time he took.
You won't get a minute. You'll get some seconds. What we think is under 5 minutes. You don't get to demand how much time you get. That's not how it works.
Mr. Patel, are the victims of the Jeffrey Epstein horrific trafficking ring, are they credible?
Any person with information about ongoing sexual trafficking.
I'm asking you if they're credible.
Ma'am, I'm commenting on the evidence we have. We have routinely asked for people to come forward with more evidence, and we will look at it. And the evidence that we have was the same evidence that the Biden and Obama Justice Departments had. And they determined, not me, they determined that that information was not credible.
Chairman, he's not letting me even ask my questions.
You ask the questions, he gives an answer. You may not like what he says, but that doesn't mean you get to interrupt him.
He's not answering my question.
Mr. Chairman, could we restore the gentlelady 45 seconds so she can complete her question?
We'll give her additional 30 seconds, which is what I said earlier.
I'm going to keep taking my time. Because
no, you'll take the time that you get.
You are not answering the question. The question is,
you just don't like the answer.
Are these women credible? It's a yes or no answer.
I have answered the question.
Well, what is the answer?
I'm telling you, I'm the only FBI director that has welcomed new information in this case. This administration is the only one that has welcomed any new information in this case.
Is there a yes or no to
present new credible information? Present new information.
Are the victims credible or not?
I'll tell you what happened in the last Trump administration.
Are they credible or not? You can't even say.
Victims credibly came forward, and you know what happened? President Trump authorized the indictments of Jeffrey Epstein.
Not
Biden, not Obama.
President Trump
no one else.
called the entire thing a Democratic hoax. So I would like to ask
you. The gentlelady's time has expired. I gave her the additional 45 seconds she requested. The gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized for his 5 minutes.
If you would meet with the women who were sexually abused and raped and groomed at the ages of 14 and 16 years old, are you going to cover up? Are you going to continue to cover up for the rich and powerful men, including those that might be on this committee?
I can yell too, Mr. Chairman. I don't want to yell above this.
The time belongs to the gentleman from New Jersey. I appreciate the gentlelady yielding back.
Are you going to allow them to testify, Mr. Patel?
Go ahead.
Will you allow them to testify to you, Mr. Patel?
Mr. Patel.
Representative Pramila Jayapal isn't just questioning Kash Patel. She's laying out one of the clearest reversals of transparency we've seen from this FBI leadership. Before Patel ever stepped into this role, he built his entire public image on a single promise: he would finally reveal the truth about the Epstein files. He went on Glenn Beck claiming the FBI director alone had access to the Black Book. He told audiences that the American people deserved to know who the predators were. He insisted there would be no redactions, no secrecy, no hidden names. Joe Rogan, he said he'd release everything, every document, every file, every name. But that bravado evaporated the moment Patel actually saw what those files contained. The moment he understood the level of political fallout they could trigger, everything changed. Instead of hundreds of gigabytes of evidence and full transparency, the public got a single video, one selective release that raised more questions than answers. And then suddenly, alongside Pam Bondi, Patel decided nothing else should be disclosed. No explanation, no follow-through, no transparency. The crusade that built his brand was abandoned the moment the truth became inconvenient. Jayapal is exposing exactly why that pivot happened. She's drawing the direct line between Patel's public declarations and his private retreat, once Donald Trump's name surfaced inside the Epstein evidence. When she asks Patel whether Pam Bondi spoke with Trump about the contents of those files, she isn't asking a trick questions. She's asking the obvious one. Did political survival outweigh the truth? Patel doesn't say he can't answer. He simply refuses to. It's no legal barrier. Oversight rules don't prevent him from speaking, only politics does. Then Jayapal brings up what might be the most heartbreaking part of the story: survivors. many of whom were abused as minors, reached out directly to Patel. They asked to meet him. They asked to be heard. They asked for justice from the man who promised transparency. Some of these women spoke publicly for the first time in their lives. And Patel's response was not to meet them, not to hear their accounts, not to verify their claims. Instead, he shifted blame to previous administrations, questioned credibility indirectly, and tried to reframe responsibility so he never had to follow through on his own promises. So Jayapal cuts through the evasions with the simplest question. Possible, are these victims credible? It's a yes or no question, a baseline question. One that shouldn't require rehearsed answers or political calculations. But Patel does everything to avoid answering. He filibusters. He invokes unrelated presidencies. He attacks the framing of the question. He cites statistics. He throws bureaucratic language at the wall. He does anything other than acknowledge the truth, and that's the tell. Because if the FBI believes victims, if Patel still stands by his promise of transparency, if the Bureau is truly looking for new evidence, then acknowledging the victim's credibility would be simple. Instead, Patel's silence reveals the actual priority: protecting powerful men whose exposure could reshape the political landscape. Once he acknowledges their credibility, he has to explain why he never met them, why he shut down the investigation, why he released one carefully curated video instead of the full archive, and why figures close to Trump appear to benefit from selective protection. Jayapal isn't just grilling Patel. She's exposing a system designed to shield the powerful at the expense of justice. The retreat from transparency, the refusal to meet survivors, the selective release of evidence, the evasive testimony, these aren't bureaucratic glitches.